Hello everybody, this is OpenWorldAddict here with another tutorial for new players for Civilization 5 Brave New World. Last time I covered setting up the game. Now I'm going to cover starting out. What you should be doing, what you should be thinking of when you first start out. This tutorial should help you on your way to give you a boost to initial success. Anyway, I'm not going to talk a lot about where to build a city, what kind of things you want. But I think as I go through this tutorial, you should be able to glean some of that information anyway. So, the one thing I do want to say is that you usually start in a place that is pretty good for your capital city. Especially if you're using legendary resources, which I am for this tutorial. Anyway, so we're going to settle the settler in place. And as always, it's always a good idea to move this warrior around. For right now, I'm going to put him in auto move, because there's other things I want to talk about. I'm also playing without barbarians, so I will not have to face them. This way we can talk about what's important. Now before we go talk about these icons down here, I want to talk about these icons over here. These hammers, these are production icons. This will add to the production of the city when it's worked by a citizen. This is food. This yellow icon is gold. As you go on, there may be other icons in this game. One important thing to note is your incomes. Over here you have your science income, your gold income, the number of trade routes you have, which is important, golden age, and this is your culture income and your great work, your tourism income and your faith income. These don't play an immediate part of what culture does, but these don't. These have to do with religion, and tourism has to do with the cultural victory. So that is not important. I'm not going to cover golden ages either. Anyway, let's focus on these resources. Also to note, these icons. Now, in order to get this, I recommend having yield icons, resource icons, and trade routes. We're going to go into the research menu first, because the first strategy. The first plan you must have is being able to work these resources, as well as these terrain types. Forests and hills require mining. Marshes, which we don't have here, they have a little water on them. They require masonry technology, and jungles to work on them require bronze working. Now, if you do get jungles, unless there's a resource on them, I recommend you not work those tiles, because they will take a 2 food tile and put it down to a 1 food tile. Anyway, so food is important to feed your people and for your city to grow. Production is important because it'll increase how quickly things get done. And gold is important because it'll increase your treasury. There are a lot of things that have maintenance in this game, and those will be a hit to your treasury. If you look at our treasury, we have 0 expenses and 3 income. So right now it's a positive. But as we do things, our expenses will go up, and our income, if we're not careful, might go down. Anyway, so here are your resources. Resources are things on the map that, when you work them, give you improvements. And then they improve the terrain. Sheep gives us 1 food, but when we improve it, we can get more food from it. And same thing with cattle. This stone is a production resource. So is this marble. However, this marble and these truffles, these are luxury resources. If you see, they will give us happiness when we work them. But each of these require technology. If you look to the lower right, you'll see that the sheep require animal husbandry. Cattle also require animal husbandry. The truffles require trapping. And the marble and stone require masonry. Now, there are other resources that you may find that require calendar. So it's always important to look at the resources in your starting area and determine your opening tech tree path depending on what's around you and what you need. Now you need lots of food, and as we see here, there is lots of food to be around. There's a lot of grasslands. Each of these provide 2 food. Some with cattle provide 3. So food is not necessarily a problem, and when you improve them, they'll give you even more food. Production is not a problem. This stone gives us 1 production. When improved, gives us 2. We get 2 from this hill, 2 from that hill, and 2 from that hill. Now note that in order to get these, your citizens must be working them, and the city might not put the citizens on these spaces initially, unless of course they improve them, because your mayor will put citizens on the computer will put citizens on wherever that gets the most benefit. And then, of course, you need gold. Let's look at the city. And you notice here are these things again. Tourism and faith, which is religion and culture, and then food. You notice where you're making plus 3 food. We're actually making 5, but 2 is eating by the citizens. If you do not have enough food for your people will starve. But food is important for another reason, and that is growth. The more food you're making, the more your city will grow. If we come back here and look on the city banner, you'll see it says that Paris will grow from size 1 to size 2 in 5 turns. And that is affected by the amount of food they're making. We come over here to citizen management. You'll see where the tiles are being worked. You always have this tile in your city center being worked, as well as 1 other tile when you have 1 citizen. If we, let's say, tell them we don't want them to work that tile, instead we want to work that tile, we will have 0 food. But if we come back out here, we're going to have no growth. Let's go back in, and let's say we decide this tile is better. That's 1 food. Now it'll take 15 turns for the city to grow. So as you see, the amount of food you have in your city that your city is collecting, the amount of food you get per turn is very important to city growth. We're going to put them back out. Reset to default focus, and they select that tile. So what could you be building when you first start out? Well, you need to explore the land around you. You need to do that because you need to find city-states, as well as places to build new cities. So if we go to the construction menu, a scout is very important. Also important is a monument, but because it'll give you culture. Culture helps unlock social policies. But in certain situations, you don't actually need a monument. And I'm not going to talk about culture right now, because that's adding a little too much. So for now, we'll just say a scout. So, which of these resources do we want to focus on first? Well, we want to focus on gold, because we need more gold, and within our borders, as of now, this is the only tile that produces gold. However, if we go into our technology tree, there's a third option, and if you have enough initial resources, if enough food, enough production, your city is growing at a nice rate, and you're producing things at a nice rate. Right now, we have 4 production, which is small, but as we grow, we're gonna be working more tiles, and there's a lot of production. There's a lot of food, a lot of production. So, if that's the case, the best thing would be go to pottery to grab a shrine. Shrines give you faith, and faith gets you religion. Now, to tell you the truth, it's totally up to you if you want to go to religion, for a religion, but if you want to get any benefits from a religion, you should go for it early. The later you wait, the harder it will become, until 7 religions have been chosen, have been founded, and in that case, you are out of luck. So that is what we're going to do first. But you don't have to just select one at a time. You can actually queue them up. Since we know that we want masonry, to grab the gold from the oops, that was a mistake. Okay, since we okay, did not set. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go. Since we want masonry to improve the marble, we can just click on hold the shift button and click on masonry, and we'll queue it up. If we then look at here, once we get masonry, since we have 2 things that require animal husbandry, we can queue that up also. And as I said, the truffles, which we may get soon once our city expands. By the way, Another benefit of culture is city expansion. We go for trapping. So we're going for pottery first, then mining, then masonry, then animal husbandry, and then trapping. And that will allow us to make use of all the resources in our area. Once you have that, then you can start strategizing. So, interesting ideas. If you have a second city out early, let's say you're going to build a lot of cities, and you have the second city out early after you've gotten all the resources, then maybe you want to get wheel, which will give you it will give you the ability to build roads, which will increase your income even more. If you're near the ocean, then of course you will want sailing, which will give you the ability to work the ocean, the workboat, also explore the ocean. But also more importantly, you want to get writing, and since I don't know if we're going to be having a second city that soon, I'll let you get to writing, but fortunately, you have to pay attention to what buildings each gives you, because each tech gives you, because there are benefits. Here we have a mausoleum of Annoucnements we can build, which gives us benefits gives us more gold for having marble or stone. This marble or stone, this calendar of the stone works, and it'll increase the production that you get from marble or stone. So there are buildings that can help improve your resources even more. So after we get trapping, we'll go to calendar, so we can grab the stoneworks, and then writing. And writing is the first technology that you will want to go to that will improve the amount of science you get. It will also allow you to go for embassies to be established in other civilizations. So we'll let that strategy tick away. That is the opening technologies you want to go for. After that, you should focus on, once you focus on what's around you, you should focus on what strategy you're going for, and unlock texts that help get you towards that strategy. See, our worker is exploring, and warrior is exploring, and we found a city-state. City-states are important because they will give you quests. More importantly, because I've chosen such a big and open map, they're important for early trading. And trading is another source of gold. So in matter of fact, I'm going to go to the technology tree here. I'm going to say go to agriculture first because that will give us a first caravan and some more gold. Then we're going to reset by clicking your current technology, then animal husbandry, masonry, calendar, and writing. Now, there are some other things here. Horses, iron, and some other things later down are strategic resources. And you're going to need those things for later units. Horses, of course, are needed for cavalry. Iron is needed for later military hand-to-hand units. And so you won't find them in the beginning of the game. Just keep an eye for them once you unlock the technology that reveals them. So now that we built the scout, we can have it explore as well. And then we could bring out a worker. And the worker will help improve the lands surrounding the city. And we finished the technology. Now, if you're working on a worker at this time, I believe the production towards the worker will hold. You should definitely switch to building a shrine. As I said, shrines will get you faith, and faith will get you religion if you want to go down that route. Now we get to adopt a policy. And I think that is enough for the starting out guide. I hope that this given you some information about how to get a good startup. I don't want these videos to be too long. Well, actually, never mind. I will go into choosing culture, social policies is part of the opening strategy. So I am going to go into social policies a little bit. Your first four social policies are tradition, liberty, honor, and piety. Tradition is piety for religion, honor is for your military. For tradition and liberty are two different strategies that you can use. Tradition means building big, liberty means building wide. Now, it's a general idea to focus on getting all the policies of one or all the policies of another. However, you can go back and forth a little bit, getting what you need and then finishing off the one you started with. Or finishing off one and then the other. Or the other. For example, if it takes you 23 turns to get a worker out, you may want citizenship. If you don't have that much production around your city and it will be a while, you want before you can get production, you may want republic. These two may help improve your output. And the third thing of adopting liberty is you do get one extra culture for every city you have. So overall, those two are good, but in general are good for any type of place, depending on your situation. But overall, you want to stick to tradition or liberty. That is the overall guide. Anyway, and for here we're going to start with tradition to get the 3 culture. And another reason why you don't always have to go for, because if you're going to do tradition all the way, you do get free culture building, which in this case is a monument. So you did not have to build it. Anyway, as you see, our culture has gone up. We're getting +4, we were +1 now. Anyway, I think this is now enough for this tutorial. And the next tutorials will be specific to giving you a heads up or a good start towards the different victory conditions. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, please press that thumbs up button, and I will see you next time. This is OpenWorldAddict out.